So I thought I had this sand truck all done, but I came over here and it started leaking from sitting, I guess. So I have to change out this fuel tank. First thing I'm gonna do is siphon it out, and I only got the one can, so I'm just gonna have to fill up everything else that does not have fuel in it. So that's how I'm gonna take care of that. So let's get started. So first things first, getting the fuel out. Try to not get it all in my mouth. So stick the hose in. Hopefully the hose gets all filled. You're gonna need a shut off. No, why not? Messed up your stuff in there. So. Alright, so you put it all the way in there like that and clamp off the end, and now it's full. Then you're going to try to get it down real quick so it siphons. That way you don't have to fill your mouth up with fuel. Hopefully it starts. I got an air bubble in here, it might not start. Oh, we got it. So the problem with this setup doing that is that I won't be able to do it again once we start getting down, because there just won't be enough fuel in there. So we're probably like a little over half, maybe 3/4 full. So that works when it's full, and that's why I got the vice grips, just to clamp it off, so to stop it from leaking. They sell siphons. You can buy all kinds of stuff. You get one of those jiggle things that they call. It's like a brass little, I don't know, tube that goes on the end. It's got like a couple balls in it, so it's like a stop. You just kind of push it in there, and it forces it up, and then the ball is a check ball, and it keeps it from going back. And you can just hold the hose up, and then when you want to put it back, you just put it down. So there's other ways of doing it. I mean, you can take a line off and pressurize the tank and force it out on one of the lines. I guess it's all how you want to do it. But this is how I'm doing it. So we'll keep doing this. I'll just clamp it off when I'm full, and I can take it back off when I'm ready to start pumping again. So, see, I got it pinched off. I just kind of pulled it up, pinched it off, and then, so now I'm still full of fuel. Let's take it, push it back in there, line it up, take the vice grips off. So I got to squish my line back out a little bit because it's kind of a hard line. And away we go. You could do it with a ball valve too. I mean, if you got like a piece of air hose or something like that with an end, you could stick that in there and close the ball valve and pull it out and then open the ball valve. It's all how creative you want to get, or you can just do it this way. So we're going to undo the strap bolts. These ones are pretty bad. They're 3/4, at least on this truck. Yeah, they're pretty rusted, and the threads are pretty much gone on most of the bolt area. So I got some new straps just because I didn't know if they were going to break, and it'd be real difficult to repair them. So I got the tank, the straps, and the rubber insulator here, just so I had all the stuff I needed. I got as much out of the tank as I could. I still have about an inch of fuel in there. If that hose was a little bit more flexible, I could have got it so it was like straight in, but because it had a curve to it, it ended up sucking air after a while. So I'll have to take a plug out and drain the rest of it. Look at that one. Make sure it doesn't pop out and hit you in the face. So that should be my catchphrase. In here, we've got the hoses. This one on the left is the vent line. This one in the middle, I believe, is going to be the suction line. This one on the right should be the return line, I believe. So, I think those are 5/8. I'm going to unhook those lines and then slide this tank out. Probably, obviously, take these two connectors off the fuel sender. Alright, so that the nuts for the compression fittings, or the nuts for the compression fittings are 13/16. They're not 5/8. I was way off. I think the 5/8 were for like a 2/3/8 airline or something, or a 1/4" airline. I don't know. It's one of the airlines, but so yeah. So I got those two unhooked. Make sure you keep track of which one goes where. I unhooked the sender, so I just got to kind of pull it out. Yeah, I bent these up so they don't get hooked. So, give this a try. Let me zip up my coat so I don't get my shirt all filthy. It's my dirty coat. Hose is leaking. Let's see. Yeah. That's how you do it, I guess. So here we are. I'm in the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these fittings. I think this one too, and then the fuel sender. I'm gonna take all this off and I'm gonna transfer it to the other tank. Alright, so you got a bolt that holds the strap on back there. It just kind of loops through. Those are 3/4. So once I took the two bolts out, change the straps. I'm gonna have to reuse these rubber cushions that go around the straps because the ones the dealer gave me are too small. They're see how small they are? They're obviously not for this size strap. Anyway, so I'll probably use those as like a cushion underneath the tank to keep it off the metal. So got the straps changed out. Got the tank over here. I removed the all the fittings and the sender, and I put the sender in. On this, one of these bolt holes are closer together than the rest, so it can only, it's so you can only clock it one way. So keep that in mind when you're putting it in. Came with the rollover vent valve on there. These are pretty much just a it's like a little ball in there, so see if you roll over, it goes upside down, it blocks off the flow out the vent, but right side up it lets it vent. Yep, so I cleaned up the fittings, some Teflon tape and stuff in there, so just have to slide it in. Alright, so we got a slit in there. I'm gonna take these straps that were supposed to be for this, I mean, like half the size, and I'm just gonna line the bottom of the tank around the brackets to try to keep it from getting all worn through. One side, just kind of lay it under there, then pick the tank up and push it in. So here's that. So I'm going to hook up the lines to make sure that the tank's kind of where it needs to be in there. I'm pretty sure it is. And yeah, so I'm gonna reach in there and hook the lines up, the sender up, and I'll bolt these straps down. So this tank's a little taller in the other one. So I had a hard time getting my arm in here. I used crow's foot. So I used this crow's foot that I went from up here in front of the tank, and I just kind of got on there and worked it around. So I got both fittings that way. I use the little swivel extensions or wobble extensions. So it worked all right. I still had to stuff my arm in there, but as you can see, you get a lot of room in the front here to get in there. So you'll hook up electrical connectors. So once we got all the, well, my flashlight went dead, but anyway, so everything's hooked up there. We got the straps on. I had to loosen up the straps again and slide this rubber protector back a little bit farther, because it wasn't under the strap between the frame, not between the frame, but between the strap at the back of the tank. So I had them slid too far forward, so I had to loosen them up and then just slide them back on both sides and tighten it down. You know, you're gonna want to go tight. Don't go super tight, because it'll cause the tank to bulge in the middle, and it might close off that suction tube that goes down. I know I installed an aluminum one in the past that was really flimsy, and I couldn't put very much torque on the bands at all, because it was causing it to bow up really bad. I never had I marked it so I could tell if the tank was sliding around and moving or anything, and it never moved. I never had a problem with it, but I guess I just put it tight enough. So, you know, put it as tight as you feel comfortable with. You're gonna want to check it periodically, I guess. And just you know, use your best judgment. You're gonna want to obviously fill the tank with fuel and then prime your fuel system, because you're going to be missing some fuel probably from here to the filter housing, the primary filter housing, depending on the vehicle you have. This is pretty much a standard way of changing the tanks. I've changed this one like that, obviously. I've done this style, the D tanks. It's pretty much the same thing. So you just want to make sure you prime your fuel system afterwards. I have a video that I'll link in the description to priming this fuel system, so you can look for that. And I thank you for watching.